Hello everybody, this is Jordan and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today you are seeing something very interesting. I picked this up from a movie theater in Hillsboro, Ohio, Star Cinemas. I believe an Aldi is going in place of the movie theater. This speaker came out of the center channel position in one of the rooms, one of the screening rooms, one of the auditoriums, however you want to say it. And it was still in use as of about a month or two ago. I don't even remember exactly when it was, as of the time of filming this video. And it was still in use. It was behind the screen. I went there for other pieces of equipment. I didn't expect to be picking up an A5, but this particular example was something I absolutely refused to pass up on. It's in good original condition. No issues. All the components, near as I can tell, are original. Won't be doing any listening tests with it today due to the fact that this is at my workplace and I want to be respectful of everybody else. There are folks who are in neighboring rooms on the air in broadcast studios, so to really crank this thing up I need to fix up an amplifier to hook up to it, and that particular amplifier would be this example here. This is a Duquesne public address amplifier, but this was made back in the day that even when something is utilitarian as a public address amp could be made to sound very nice. And so I think it would be worth fixing that up, replacing the coupling capacitors on it, and making that a functional and safe to use device to use for this single speaker. I went to this movie theater to pick up some Dolby processors and crown amps and a bunch of other ins and odds for my other speaker system at the house, which came from another movie theater, if that makes any sense at all. And when I looked behind the screen, I saw this. I had to have it. So $65 later, this thing followed me home. It was not easy to move. It doesn't weigh a lot, but it's just huge. And when it was originally installed, the crossover was actually mounted on the side of the box right here. I'm not sure how well that can be seen on camera, but you can almost kind of see the screw holes from that. I actually just put it back on top. It's just sitting in place. You can see some paperwork outlining the measurements and where to mount the brackets for the horn. It dates back to, I think that says 1945. Obviously this example is not from the 1940s. This is from the 1970s. Let's tilt this thing around and take a look at it. You can see the compression horn driver right here. That's an Altec Lansing A5. I almost forgot to add this to the video. I was actually editing the video together when I realized I didn't show what the horn diaphragm looked like. So let's take a quick look at that. It's an excellent original condition, and it's a thing of beauty. It really is. Okay, here is the door off of the N500C dividing network. It's a 500 hertz crossover, and you can see the input and output terminals and what is very likely a date code of 1971. I can't be 100% certain, but I would be willing to bet that's the date code of when this speaker was actually built. I'm going to get some distance from this speaker so you can see the back of it. It is on a Harbor Freight wheel dolly, which basically fits it perfectly. Take a look at the decal on the side. I will do an updated video with a measurement microphone to give you a somewhat reasonably accurate means of hearing what this speaker sounds like. I did clean this up just a little bit, almost just wiped off the dust. Everything else was left alone. I did rotate the woofer. That is a concern. These 515Bs, this is what the low frequency speaker is in this, they are known to develop a voice coil rub because the cone has some mass to it. It has some weight. And because of that, the surround, being covered in a sealant material often referred to as dope, it is soft and it can, over the decades, shift or start to drift in one direction versus the other. And this speaker was very close to rubbing, so I went ahead and flipped it 180 degrees and also cleaned off the dust. You can see the front cloth right here for the port is still intact, and you can see specks of silver paint when the screen that was in front of it at some point was repainted, either in a previous installation or its most recent installation, which is where I obtained this speaker for $65. Let's take a look at the decal on the inside of the horn right here. Here is what the decal looks like on the bottom or lower angle of the multi-cell horn. Looks like. You can see there's a little bit of surface corrosion, but not much. It's got a good amount of patina without being crusty. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you can now see the dividing network and the back side of the original 15-inch low-frequency counterpart of this loudspeaker. You can also see the inside of the cabinet. And if you look way down in there, no, that's not a stash. That's an original bag of hardware. I did open that. It's very delicate. There are screws in that. There's lock washers, and I think a few nuts and bolts. And what I think that was the original hardware kit that would have been sent with this speaker, so that if you had to remove the back, you had spare flathead wood screws that would go in place in case, you know, one of them became galled or, I don't know, damaged somehow. Flathead screws are cantankerous, so you can kind of understand why they would probably send spares. And if you look down here, there's quite a bit of airspace, and I did this intentionally. This wasn't there originally, but there is an original coupon for a medium popcorn from the movie theater this speaker came from. The movie theater that this speaker did indeed come from was built in about 1993 or 94, I believe. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please correct me in the comments. This speaker obviously was not built in 93 or 94, so this was something that they probably found secondhand, or maybe the company that built Star Cinemas owned other cinemas at the time, and this was something that was reused. A great choice. One odd thing about the movie theater auditorium this was located in was the speaker system was completely all JBL. That includes the surround cabinets on the wall and the left and right channels. The center speaker, however, was left original Altec. So I don't know if that room was a mono facility at one point, or they just thought, okay, let's just not replace the center channel. It's a bit of an odd choice in my opinion, but it is what it is, and I'm glad that they did it, because if they hadn't done that, I would have not ended up with it for $65 freaking dollars. Come on. And yes, I am supporting that with a trash can with trash in it. I didn't want to have to completely unwire the wiring to put the bottom back on the floor. And that little door there, I believe, is for a dividing network of a different model. Let's see if I can get a decent picture of what the back of that speaker magnet looks like. Alright, Shaky Cam is back at it again. You very well might be able to see the label on the back of this particular speaker. That's what that looks like. And you can see a little bit more of the woodworking up inside here, where the speaker baffle is slotted into the top piece of the cabinet. This cabinet's very well made, and it definitely appears to be a factory cabinet.